Have you ever heard of a movie called Titanic? It is a very famous film. Many people all over the world have seen it. The movie tells a big, exciting story. It is also a little bit sad, but it is full of adventure. This story is about a giant ship, a ship that was real long ago. Let's learn about this amazing movie. The movie Titanic is special. It is not just a made-up tale. It is based on a true event. A real ship, also named Titanic, sailed the sea. This happened many, many years ago. More than 100 years ago, in fact. The movie shows us what that ship was like. It shows us the people on board. It helps us imagine that time. It brings history to life for us. The movie helps us understand a big event. It shows a beautiful, huge ship, the biggest ship of its time. Everyone was excited about its first journey. Let's begin our adventure with Titanic. In the movie, we meet two main people. Their names are Jack Dawson and Rose DeWitt Bukater. They are very different from each other. Jack is a young artist. He does not have much money, but he has a big heart and loves freedom. He draws wonderful pictures of people. He sees beauty everywhere he goes. He gets his ticket for Titanic by luck. He is excited for a new adventure. Rose is a young lady from a rich family. She wears fancy dresses and goes to parties. But she does not always feel happy. She feels trapped by her life. She dreams of being free like Jack. She wants to make her own choices. She is sailing to America with her family. She is supposed to marry a rich man, but she is not sure if she loves him. Jack is kind and brave. He is not afraid to be himself. He shows Rose that life can be exciting. He teaches her to follow her dreams. Jack's spirit is wild and free. He changes Rose's life forever. Life on the Titanic was like being in a floating city. There were so many things to see and do. For rich people like Rose, it was very grand. They had big, beautiful rooms. They ate fancy food in huge dining halls. They had libraries and swimming pools. They even had a gym to exercise in. It was like a very expensive hotel. They wore their best clothes every day. Life was full of comfort and luxury. For people with less money like Jack, it was different. They were in an area called third class. Their rooms were much smaller and simpler. Their food was plain, but there was enough. But they also had fun on the ship. They played music and danced together. They shared stories and made new friends. They were also very excited about the journey. They were hoping for new lives in America. Jack and Rose meet by chance on the ship. Rose is feeling sad and alone. Jack helps her and they become friends. This was unusual because they were from different worlds. Jack and Rose did not care about that. They liked each other for who they were. The Titanic was not just any ship. It was the biggest ship ever built at that time. It was as long as 3 football pitches and as tall as a big building. It had 4 huge funnels, or chimneys. Only 3 were for smoke. 1 was just for show. It made the ship look even more powerful. Everyone was amazed by its size and beauty. People called it the Wonder Ship. It was a symbol of new technology. Inside, the Titanic was like a palace. It had a grand staircase with a glass dome. It had beautiful wooden carvings and paintings. There were fancy cafes and lounges. Passengers could walk on wide, open decks. They could look out at the vast ocean. The ship had its own post office. It even had its own newspaper printed on board. Every detail was made to be perfect. It was designed to be the most luxurious ship. Many people believed Titanic was unsinkable. This means they thought it could never sink. It was built with new safety features. The builders and owners were very proud. Sadly, they would learn this was not true. The Titanic began its famous journey in England. The date was April 10, 1912. Its first stop was in Cherbourg, France. Then it went to Queenstown, Ireland. There, more passengers got on board. Then, it set off across the wide Atlantic Ocean. Its final stop was meant to be New York City. America was a land of opportunity for many. The journey would take several days. The weather was mostly good at first. On board, passengers settled into ship life. Some enjoyed the fresh sea air on deck. Children played games, adults read books or talked with friends. In the evenings, there were dinners and music. For Jack and Rose, it was a time of discovery. They found quiet places to talk. They watched dolphins swimming in the ocean. They stood at the front of the ship. It felt like they were flying. The ship sailed smoothly for a few days. The ocean was calm and the sky was clear. Passengers felt safe and comfortable. The crew worked hard to run the big ship. The captain was very experienced. On the night of April 14, 1912, the sea was very calm. It was like a mirror, flat and still. There was no moon in the dark sky. This made it hard to see things far away. Lookouts on the Titanic were watching for danger. They were high up in the crow's nest. They strained their eyes in the darkness. Suddenly, one of them saw something. A huge dark shape right in front of the ship. It was an iceberg. The lookout rang the warning bell. He shouted, "Iceberg, right ahead!" The officers on the bridge tried to turn the ship. They also tried to stop the engines. But the Titanic was very big and heavy. It could not turn or stop quickly. It was moving too fast. The ship scraped along the side of the iceberg. It did not hit it head-on, but along the side. Many passengers did not feel the crash much. Some said it was like a small shiver, or a gentle bump. Some people were asleep in their beds. They did not even wake up. But below, in the bottom of the ship, it was serious. The iceberg had made holes in the ship's side. As water filled the front of the ship, it began to tilt. The front or bow dipped lower into the sea. The officers started to tell people to put on life jackets. They told them to go to the boat deck. This was where the lifeboats were. But many people were confused. Some did not want to leave the big warm ship. The lifeboats looked small and unsafe in the dark ocean. The rule was women and children first into the lifeboats. This led to many sad goodbyes. The crew worked to lower the lifeboats. It was a difficult and slow process. Some lifeboats left only half full. People were scared and did not know what to do. Jack and Rose stayed together. Jack helped Rose to get into a lifeboat. But Rose did not want to leave Jack. She jumped back onto the sinking ship. She chose to stay with him. Their love was strong, even in danger. As the ship sank lower, the situation became desperate. The lights on the Titanic flickered and went out. The ship broke into two large pieces. This was a terrifying moment for everyone. The front part sank first, then the back part stood up high in the air. Making the movie Titanic was a huge job. The director, James Cameron, wanted it to be very real. He wanted people to feel like they were there, so they built a giant model of the ship. It was almost as big as the real Titanic. They built it in a big water tank in Mexico. This allowed them to film scenes of the ship sailing, and also the scenes of it sinking. It was a massive and expensive project. Many talented people worked on it. The actors had to work in cold water. Kate Winslet, who played Rose, got very cold sometimes. Leonardo DiCaprio, who played Jack, also faced challenges. They had to act as if they were freezing, and in many scenes they really were. The special effects were amazing for their time. They used computers to help create the sinking. They made the ocean look vast and dangerous. They even added digital people to crowd scenes. All this work made the movie look very believable. The famous drawing of Rose was actually drawn by James Cameron. He is a good artist himself. The old lady at the start and end of the movie is Rose. She is telling her story many years later. The story of the Titanic is more than just a movie. It is a true story from history. The real RMS Titanic sank on April 15, 1912. It was a terrible tragedy. So many lives were lost that night. People from all walks of life were on board. Rich people, poor people, families, and single travelers, each had their own dreams and hopes. Remembering Titanic means remembering these people. It helps us honor their memory. The movie Titanic teaches us many things. It teaches us about love and courage. Jack and Rose's love story is fictional, but it represents the human connections on board. It shows how people can be brave in difficult times. It also teaches us about mistakes. People thought the Titanic was unsinkable. They were too confident in technology. This reminds us to be careful and humble, and to always think about safety first. The sinking of the Titanic led to important changes. New rules were made for ships. All ships now have to carry enough lifeboats for everyone. They must have lifeboat drills, so people know what to do. There is an international ice patrol. They watch for icebergs and warn ships. These changes have made sea travel much safer, so something good came from the sad event.